It actually has some makeup stains on the inside here that I don't even think are mine. Hi, I'm Celeste from Bookish and Val. Welcome to another HAUL-ternative. You may have seen the HAUL-ternative I did about the items that I was getting rid of from my kitchen. I will link that in the description down below if you haven't seen it yet and you want to check it out. You guys seem to like that a lot, so I thought I would show you another example. And I didn't think I was going to have some more things I was getting rid of anytime soon because I've actually done almost everything. But recently I had another spark of motivation about clearing out my closet a little bit more, and I found some more things that I can donate and sell. So I thought I would show you guys those right now. The closet is definitely one of my problem areas, if you want to call it that. I have a lot of clothes and it's hard for me to figure out exactly what is the right amount of clothes for me, because I do think that I would enjoy having a smaller number of pieces because it would make getting ready easier, and that's why I've been interested in experimenting with things like capsule wardrobes and stuff in the past. However, another part of me feels like I'm never going to be one of those people who gets down to like under 100 items, because I do have just so many really special pieces. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's the right amount for myself, and I will probably have to continue to do purges every few months or so as I get closer to zeroing in on exactly what I want my wardrobe to look like. So a lot of you know that a few months ago I started condoing my home with Marie Kondo's KonMari method. I will post a link to the blog post I did about reducing my closet by more than half. And it was really awesome, but I knew at the time that I probably did still have a little bit more to go, and I was going to need to reevaluate at some point. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to take you through all of the clothing and accessories that I've decided to try to sell, and then I will take you through the ones that I'm going to donate. In addition to giving you some ideas about what items you can sell and which ones you should donate, I also hope to let you know a little bit on my thinking process behind why I'm getting rid of these items in particular. This is a lovely silk little peplum camisole that I got when I was working at Anthropologie. I think that I primarily liked the shape of it, and I don't really wear it that much, and I'm realizing that it's because I'm just not a big abstract print person. It's another silk camisole from Anthropologie. This one is a bit closer to being my style, but I just never really loved the way that it looked on me. It has these little braided straps that I didn't really like the way that they looked lying on my shoulders. Something about the proportion wasn't great. And then it also has this little print that almost looks like people, and I liked that it was whimsical, but in the end I just didn't really like the print that much. This is something that maybe I should be donating instead of trying to sell, because it's just from H&M, but it's still in pretty good condition, and I think it's a nice little trendy piece that someone might want. As far as why I'm getting rid of it, I mean, it's just kind of a little bit more casual than a lot of the stuff I'm wearing these days. It's just not as sleek and effortless looking. I think it might be a little bit more youthful. It's another Anthropologie top. It's a peplum, and it's made out of this really stretchy material. I really loved this top on other people, and I had to eventually come to the decision that I just didn't think it looked great on me. I have a really large chest, and some peplum tops look fantastic if they're tailored right, but because this one is just stretchy, I felt like it really clung, and it just completely showed everything, which really exaggerated how large my chest was, rather than camouflaging it a little bit more the way something that's actually tailored like this does. I just don't think that I look fantastic in really, really stretchy skin tight things. I think they're a little bit too sexy on me. This is a top from Madewell. I saw it in the store and I loved it. Then later I saw it on a friend of mine in the red color. Hi Courtney, if you're watching. And I thought it looked really cute on her. And so I became re-obsessed with it and I decided I needed to go get it. Well, the reason that I hadn't bought it in the first place is because it didn't look great on me. With my really large chest, these kind of nice little box pleats on the front, they just don't lie as beautifully as they do on someone who's a shape that this was really designed to fit. So I just kind of had to let it go, and it was a little bit easier for me too because this isn't actually silk, and so that was another thing that I didn't think was absolutely perfect about it. And I'm in a place where I'm feeling like if I'm only going to have a few things, any sleeveless shell that I have should be silk and beautiful and look great on me and be exactly what I want it to be. This is a Prabal Garoon for Target top that I bought years ago. Anyone who knows my style is looking at this right now and thinking, that doesn't seem like you at all. It's really bright colors. And that is true. That's part of it. So I didn't get that much wear out of this. I like how modernist the print is. I like that it's not 100% abstract because it's really a play on a floral. It's like a mirror image floral. And I really like these black sheer panels. But the thing is, it's not cut super, super well because sometimes when you get designer pieces that are made for collaborations with more inexpensive brands, what you are paying for is the beautiful idea, you know, the print that came from the designer's mind, but what you're not getting is the quality that you would get if you actually bought the designer piece. So obviously this is not in silk. If it were just Prabal Garoon, it would be. But in addition to that, the actual cut is not as impeccable as it would have been if it were really a designer piece. So rather than lying flat, these inserts here would always kind of stick out a little bit, and that drove me crazy. This was one of my very favorite shirts for a long time. I got this at Anthropologie back before I even worked there. I think I was still in high school, and that was when I would occasionally buy something there that was on sale, maybe once or twice a year. Again, with the really like lacy cutouts and things, I feel like this is a little bit too sexy, and I don't love the way that it looks with a camisole underneath it. It kind of changes the lines. So I just found that I wasn't wearing it as much as I had been wearing it before. So there was a time when I loved it, and I will remember it fondly, but no need to hold on to it anymore. Then we've got this little sleeveless chambray from Anthro. It's got this really cute little tulip detail in the back where it splits open. I have one that's similar that has the tuxedo split in the back. If you want to see that one, you can look at my 30 for 30 capsule wardrobe challenge video. I'll link that down below. I really love that tuxedo split back look, but this guy, I just didn't end up liking the way that it was as much. Again, it's sort of almost trapeze, so when you have large breasts, it kind of just goes off from there, almost looks a little bit maternity. So I just found that I was always wearing the other chambray and I wasn't really wearing this one because in the end I liked the idea of it splitting open in the back, but I didn't really like the way that it looked on my body type. This little sheer number from Urban Outfitters was a lot of fun. It has this nice little tie in the front, and I really loved it for a while. I love this color, but what I discovered a while ago is that I don't really like to wear this color as much. I kind of like it more for pops of home decor things, and I don't know. The other thing about it is that because it's sheer, you really have to layer it under something, in which case you kind of lose the effect of the tie, or you have to wear it over a camisole, which is just a pain. And then because it's Urban Outfitters, it's not super high quality, so again, it's not silk, it's a synthetic, it doesn't breathe that well. And what I'm learning time and time again about myself is that I would rather have a smaller number of blouses and have them all be silk than have a bunch of options that all make me feel completely tortured on a hot summer day. This is another case of the needing a camisole underneath. This is a sweater from the Gap, and it has this really lovely gathering here. I don't know if you can see, but it creates a gorgeous silhouette, but it's so open in the front that I would always wear it over like a lacy cami. And in my last purge, I actually got rid of the lacy cami that I have because it wasn't really comfortable. It had a lot of things where it would like poke me. So I don't really have something to replace it, and I wasn't really wearing this that often anyway because the layered over lacy cami thing just isn't my favorite look. So I really liked the shape of this, but I didn't like the fact that I had to layer it over a camisole. And I actually have it in this color as well. Maybe you'll be able to see the shape a little bit better. That gathering that I'm talking about. And I'm still kind of on the fence about whether I want to get rid of this one because there is the cami problem. I don't know. I'm hesitating, and I know that's one of those things where you really should just get rid of it. So I think I've just talked myself into it. But my hesitancy, again, is just that I really love this shape. It's so flattering. I don't have anything else that is that shape. And it just made me feel like I need to hold on to it. But I think what I'm learning actually as I'm talking to myself through it is that I need to remember that I like that shape and look for other things like that in the future, but look for ones that have the top half that I need that actually covers so that it really is giving me everything that I want. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that one as well. This is just a little Target camisole or cardigan. I just don't really wear cardigans a lot. They feel very preppy to me. They feel a little bit officey, a little bit mumsy. Maybe when I get a bit older, it will feel more authentically me, but I always feel a bit like I'm dressing up like the teacher or something. I feel like a little girl, like trying to be a business professional a little bit. So it's just one of those things. I really like a big slouchy cardigan, but a nice little prim cardigan. I think it looks gorgeous on other people, and I always feel like I'm playing dress up. It just doesn't feel like my style at this point in time. This is a cute little yellow sweatshirt from Anthro. Again, I know it's a color. This is actually a color that I liked and I would wear occasionally, but what I hate about it is that the back is constantly wrinkling because instead of being sweatshirt material, the back is made out of this other like woven thin sort of material. So it got really wrinkly as soon as you would put it on, which is just like, who wants to look like that? This chambray is gorgeous. Oh, here, it's got that little tuxedo back that I mentioned earlier. You can see what this kind of thing looks like on in the 30 by 30 video that's linked down below. Now, for the 30 by 30, you will see me wearing this in a darker color. And what happened here is really insane. Initially, this came into the store in this color. I loved it. It got bought up really fast. I missed it. So then it came back in a light blue color, and I immediately bought that because I was like, I'm not going to miss it this time, even though I preferred this color. Eventually it came back in this color, so I bought it in this color even though I had the light blue because I thought this is what I really want. And at that point I was always wearing this one and never wearing the light blue. And then right before I quit working there, it came in the very dark blue color, which I'd never seen before, and it turned out I liked that one even better. Are we sensing a pattern here? So I bought the third version, I'm not kidding you guys, and I would only wear that one. So in my last closet purge, I convinced myself that because I love these so much, I should hold on to both dark colors because I liked both of them. But what I've learned in the months since then is that I just wear the dark one all the time, and I'm literally never going to wear this one again. So I just gotta let it go. I loved it at one point, but it has been completely replaced by something that I love more, which is really a lesson in condoing, I think, is to realize that just because something once sparked joy doesn't mean it still does, because a lot of times we replace stuff with things that we love more, and then we're hesitant to get rid of the old thing because we once loved it. But you gotta let that go. This is just a little heather gray kind of blazer from the Limited. It's one of those weird things I got talked into buying by a sales clerk a long time ago. And I just don't like it as much as my other blazers, and I never have. And I held on to it during the last purge, I guess, because I had this idea that, like, it's a blazer, it's practical, it goes with everything. And it's like, yeah, but I have other blazers. Stupid. And this is another old piece from Antho that I got way back before I even worked there. And it's almost like a combination blazer slouchy cardigan. And because it doesn't really fit either category, it doesn't really work for me that well for whatever I'm trying to do. It always looks too sloppy when I want a blazer, and it's a little bit too fussy when I want a slouchy cardigan. So I just don't really wear it anymore. This dress, it's a nice long midi dress from Urban Outfitters. It has cute little cutouts, and this is something that fits me skin tight. And so I really need to be wearing it with Spanx, but because of the cutouts, it doesn't work super well with the Spanx that I have, which are really high rise. So I always just kept feeling like, oh, I'm gonna wear that someday. Like someday I was magically going to not have any bumps and lumps on my body and just be like a supermodel, and that's not gonna happen. So I love that dress, I love it, but I'm never gonna wear it. This is from American Apparel. And as you can tell, it's got a nice sheer lace top. And the idea I had was to wear a black bra with it for that really chic sort of Emma Watson visible bra, but in a really sophisticated way kind of look. And I guess what I discovered is, again, because I have a large chest, that look just doesn't work on me. It looks too sexy. I love a visible bra when it doesn't look overt, but every time I would try it on, I felt like a porn star. It's a Target maxi skirt. You've probably seen me wear this a lot. It was in my 30 by 30, and I always wore it because it was sort of the best thing I had for what I wanted, but it really wasn't ideal. So it has this seam right here, and what you're supposed to do is fold over the top. But I never did that because I didn't like that low-rise folded over look. I would leave it, and so because of that seam, it actually doesn't make your hips look great. The way that the stripes go right there, it kind of creates the illusion of having a little tummy, which is obviously not what anyone wants. And I just made do with it for a long time, but then recently I found something at the Gap that was similar that I thought could replace it. So this is another example of, even though you loved something, or you know, it was a mainstay in your wardrobe, if you replace it with something better, you can let go of the first version. It's a cute little skirt. I saw something similar to this on a girl in the third Before Sunrise movie with, what's it called? Before Midnight. Running around playing soccer, just looking super European and adorable, and I got obsessed with the idea of having something like that, so I bought it. But when I wear it, I don't feel European, I feel like a soccer mom. I just feel a little bit basic, and I just don't think it really works for me. It's a light color. I tend to wear darker colors. I like the kind of engineer type stripes on it, but something about like the pockets and just, it just reminds me of those denim mini skirts that we all wore in high school. This is another thing I wore recently, and I enjoyed it in the outfit that I wore it with, but I haven't really worn it since then, and I don't think there's another version of an outfit that I'm ever going to wear that works with this. I think, again, it just feels a little bit more youthful than what I'm going for with my wardrobe right now, and it's the kind of thing that it was so cheap that it's like, if at some point I become obsessed with this look again and I want to replicate it, I could probably go out and find another one for like $10 or $20. So why am I going to store it in my home with the expectation that I might one day want it again? I probably won't. I'll probably forget all about it. These are some AG sateen colored jeans. They're really lovely, and I bought these when I was working at Anthro when they went on a mega markdown, and I got them for like, I want to say $20 or $30, and I actually bought them in two colors, this and a dark green color. And I think this was a situation where I was buying a thing because it was such a good deal and not because I actually needed it, because it turned out they didn't really fit a gap in my wardrobe, because I have another pair of AG colored denim that is a very similar color, but more of a maroony oxblood. This is kind of more of an orangey red oxblood, which obviously, like, no one in the world needs 2 pair of oxblood jeans. That's not, oh my God, like, what would possess me to buy oxblood jeans when I already owned oxblood jeans? The fact that they were a $250 pair marked down to $30, that might be it. Ding, ding, ding. I smell a logical fallacy in someone's shopping habits. Here's some jewelry. I did a really good job of actually getting rid of shoes and bags and hats when I did my first purge, so I don't have any of those now, but I do have some jewelry. Oh, and I have a belt. It's just a brown leather belt that's too big for me now. It's a little delicate necklace that is kind of redundant in my delicate necklace collection. I bought it at Urban Outfitters, and I bought 2 that were very similar. This one has a little silver block and a gold block side by side on a chain. The other one that I have is 2 semicircles that fit together into a circle. At the time I couldn't decide which one I thought was cuter, but now that I own them, it's very clear that I think the circle one is cuter because I always wear it, and I never wear this because if I feel like wearing something like that, I'm wearing the circle one. Sometimes hindsight is 20/20. Here are just some earrings. There's one that is just cute little posts that have, I just don't wear them that much anymore because I have other options that I think are cuter. And then these are from Urban, and they're meant to look like tiny little quartz pieces, but in person, I ordered them online, and in person they're very clearly plasticky, so I just don't think they look that great. Little bracelet, it's gorgeous, but it's just too much, and it's a little too big. Never really wore it. This is a necklace that I wore a lot during the neon trend, but right now I feel like neon is such a big thing, and it was so big for a few years. I feel like when I wear it, it makes me feel a little dated because it was a huge trend not long ago, and I just don't think that this is going to feel fresh again for like 20 years, so what's the point? Some bracelets and a watch that I never really wear anymore. There's some stud bracelets. This one I actually wore at my wedding, which is crazy. Now, I did have a whole stack of bracelets on my wrist, which is one of those things I know I'm going to regret later because it's not going to look timeless at all. It's going to look like completely out of 2014. But it's just a little elasticated thing, and I actually still really like it, but it's just gotten a little bit tarnished on the tips. This is a imitation rose gold watch that I bought off Amazon, and because I bought it online, I couldn't tell that it looks and feels kind of dinky and fake. I don't know what possessed me to keep these when I did my last purge because these are so not my style anymore at all. And then just a couple big statement rings. I got both of these recently at Nordstrom Rack, and this was 100% an instance of these are a good deal and I like them, but when you come home you actually have better things in your own collection. So I have a lot of awesome statement rings. When I want to wear a statement ring, those are the ones that I wear, and I just never wear these. So I think that's a really important lesson is once you trim down what you own, where you don't own so much anymore, you can actually keep track of what you have, and then when you go shopping, you're not going to buy things that are just poor man's versions of better things you have at home because you kind of don't remember what you have. Okay, almost done. Just want to go through the stuff that I'm donating and give you an idea of why I'm not trying to sell it. Here are a couple rings and some earrings, and all of them are just very badly tarnished, or in the case of this big ring, just a little bit bent out of shape. It's a blouse that I just recently adopted as a hand-me-down from a friend of mine, along with this gray crop top from her, and they're both great, but the blouse has that thing where it lays better on her than it does on me because my chest kind of stretches it. And the crop top is great, but it's just like kind of a redundancy. I have enough t-shirts. Here are some sweatpants that this is definitely a redundancy situation. I have another pair of plain gray sweatpants that I like more. More sweatpants. These ones just wore really threadbare. I loved them when I first got them, and they just wore out really fast. Like you can see they have actual runs in them all over. Here's another example of something that I once loved but I eventually replaced. This was the first almost chambray type thing that I ever bought. It's actually a little thinner than chambray, but it creates that same look. And it has this ruffle at the front. I really loved it. I wore it at least once a week when I was about 20 to 21 years old. And then eventually I got these better chambrays that I wear all the time, and I think I was holding on to it for sentimental reasons because I had loved it so much at one point. But that's another example of if you love a thing and then you get something that's better and replaces it, you can get rid of the first thing. This is another sheer top, very similar to the mint one from Urban Outfitters, in that because it's sheer, it limits how I can wear it, plus it's not silk, so it's not comfortable. And then in addition, these large polka dots used to be more my style, but I'm not so into them anymore. So I really love the color, but other than that, there's not a lot to it. And I'm not trying to sell this because it's missing a button on one of the sleeves, and it's not super high quality anyway. And then this is like a really, really disgusting old sleeveless shirt. It actually has some makeup stains on the inside here that I don't even think are mine. I don't know how they got there. I don't remember them ever being there, but I don't wear makeup on my neck ever, so I can't imagine. I don't even want to think about what happened there. Now, the reason I've been holding on to this for so long is that it's the only way I can have a nice crisp little white pop collar underneath something else, which is a look that I like. But I've discovered now that I can kind of replicate that almost with the little sleeveless chambray that I wear a lot. And it's not the white look, but it's almost the same look, and I just don't wear this that often because it's kind of gross and I have that alternative. So there, that's a very embarrassing thing that I still have, and I would not think about trying to sell it because that's disgusting. So that is everything that I'm getting rid of in this latest purge. I hope that you found it helpful a little bit. If you've made it this far, please give me a thumbs up in the, just by clicking that thumbs up down below. It just takes you a second. It helps me a lot to get more exposure here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe if you want to hear more from me. And if you're condoing, let me know how it's going. Leave me a comment down below. Leave me a comment about anything you want. I love comments. And make sure that you share this on social media if you think that it might be helpful to anybody else that you know, because that's also just a really great way to spread the love. So thank you for watching. I will see you later.